So, today we're talking about how to make your band famous in 2018. And that is a bit of a clickbait title, but actually not as much as you're probably thinking it is. So, famous, as we're defining it here, is within your genre and your niche, successful. There you go. You're known, you're either as an up-and-comer or as someone who's actually a staple of the genre, and you're able to do the things that you want to do, whether that's make money, or tour, or whatever. Let's look at all the skills that you need to develop if you want to do that, and how to actionably start growing your band in 2018. The first thing you obviously need is good songs. And like that should go without saying, but you'd be amazed how many people need to hear that. So what I would do if I was an up-and-coming band who only had the music. It's definitely way better if someone in your band is capable of audio engineering. Check out my channel for some basic ideas on how to go about doing that, but if not, you're either going to have to pay someone to mix your music for you, and we're going to get into why you don't want to be doing that because you're going to be making a lot of music. Or, alternatively, and I hate to recommend this, but if it's absolutely necessary for you guys to get started, use like Easy Mix, the Toontrack plugin. You will get something at least passable, better than nothing. So, okay, you have your music, and you have the ability to produce the music. So make an album, and then go through, I would say DistroKid would be my next step, distribution. Put it on Bandcamp, and then use DistroKid to put it on iTunes and Amazon only. Do not put your music on Spotify. I know. You're gonna get very confused by that. Trust me, this will make sense in a minute. Do not go to Spotify. Do not go to any streaming services. Trust me, this is gonna make sense. So now begins the fun part, which is promotion. And I wasn't being sarcastic, I swear, this actually is the fun part. So, the most important tool that you need at this point is actually a camera. It's not any music gear, it's a camera. I personally am using the Canon T5i, which is just a beautiful camera. I also have this Canon Vixia RF800 camcorder. I don't use that for a whole lot of things, just secondary shots mostly, because it's nowhere near as pretty as my T5i. The reason that I recommend the T5i is it's a DSLR, and a DSLR allows you to have front focus and then blurred background. You cannot get that with the camcorder. Camcorder struggles to focus. So, why am I talking about cameras? This is a music channel. Simply put, you actually need really good videos as your next step toward online musician fame. And by really good videos, I'm not talking about like stupidly high budget music videos. I just mean like good looking videos. And trust me, again, this is going to make sense, I swear. So what we need to do is make a playthrough video. Not a fancy, big budget music video you can't afford, just a simple playthrough video of you guys playing, and then take the album audio and put it over the video. And you don't need a good setting. You really don't. I do this all the time, and it's literally just in the studio. And yeah, sometimes I'll get some shit for it, but never from people who actually like the music. You guys, the people that I'm teaching with this YouTube channel, see the videos and you don't understand this methodology, so of course you give me some shit for it, right? But the actual audience is not affected by this at all, and in fact it serves a purpose that I'm going to explain. And by the way, here's a couple examples of what playthrough videos should look like. And the way to do this is just, have different zooms of your band, and then have single shots where one band member is behind the camera doing a slow pan. It helps if you put your tripod up on a swivel chair, and then just slowly swivel the chair. It's a lot smoother that way. Oh, and of course you need good lighting. I have a couple of softbox lights. You can get those for just like $40 on Amazon. It's not a big deal. So, why were we talking so much about videos? Well, because videos are the #1 way to promote your band. They're going to help you grow your Facebook page, they're going to help you grow on Instagram, and they're going to help you grow on YouTube. Obviously YouTube, I mean that should go without saying. So our strategy here, you've got your playthrough video done, what do you do now? Well, this is where we start growing our social media platforms. 1, take enticing looking screenshots from the video as still images and post them on Instagram. Learn how to tag, there's plenty of Google potential there. My understanding, one of the best ways to grow on Instagram is just to be actually very motivational and just be real about it. You can also post little short clips from your longer video. Instagram short videos are still doing very well. And for the record, I personally have not focused too much on Instagram. I'm just putting this out there for anyone who wants to. I think Instagram's honestly a little too millennial for me. I'm not familiar with it as much as I need to be, but throughout 2018, I plan on actually really growing hard on Instagram, so we'll see. Now, Facebook's where this gets really fun. There are 2 ways to go, and both of these require having a video, and both of these require running Facebook ads, which you absolutely, I think, must be doing. You can either target for page likes or for video views. These are 2 very successful methods of advertising, and I honestly can't choose, so I'm going to lay them both out to you and you can choose. With page likes, you are optimizing your ad for people who will like your page. That's the objective. And then you endear them further, having liked your page, with things that you post that are related to their fan culture. So in my case, when I was more actively doing this, I would post a lot of like Metalocalypse memes, video game memes, jokes about symphonic metal bands, because there's a lot of overlap to fans of symphonic metal, and it makes them realize this isn't just some faceless music industry band, this is a real person on the other end of a computer with real interests that are a lot like mine. I care about them and I want to get to know them better. That's what we want, okay? The other way to achieve this is to optimize for video views. And what you're doing there is you're probably not going to actually grow your page by doing this. The click-through rate to people going through and liking your page is actually comparatively very, very small. Instead, you're building what's called a retargeting list, which is advanced marketing, but I will give you an overview here. Once you have fed this video to enough people, so again, I will go over ad targeting in another video. I know this is going to be incredibly unclear. It will make sense, just stick with my channel. What we are doing here, and this is real interesting stuff, after you have shown this video to a good number of people, you can build what's called a custom audience. And custom audiences are, you tell Facebook, I want all people who've done X. You know, all people who've liked this particular post on my page. What we're doing specifically is, I want to retarget everyone who has bothered to watch 50% or more of this video. Yeah, that's cool, right? So you can still access them with another ad even though they haven't liked your page. And the goal of both of these, either people who've liked your page or people you're remarketing to, retargeting to, is to get them onto an email list. And for that you can use MailChimp, is free. I personally use Aweber with WordPress. And again, I know this is a lot of information. Please stick with me, guys. Rewatch the video multiple times. Check out some of the other videos on my channel. Please, for the love of God, ask your questions in the comments. I would be happy to clarify. Please. So the point of the email list is that it provides a repeating sequence of emails that you pre-automate. So when someone signs up, they're sent email 1, and then you say, okay, wait 2 days and send them email 2. So for every person, it's the same sequence, which makes it really easy to test and determine what works and what doesn't. And the point of this is to expose them to you, your brand, your image, who you are, in a repeatable and scalable way that makes them bond with you in a certain sense. Most people use as what's called a lead magnet, a reason for them to give you your email address, just like a handful of free songs from the album. And that can work, and that is another reason we don't use Spotify, is we want that email. Why should they give it to us if they can literally just go to Spotify and listen anyway? But free downloads, I mean, they're good, they're respectable, they work for some people. It's not quite the best. I personally like to upsell my free download offer by saying something to the effect of, this is like a one-of-a-kind experience in music because, you know, we will give you a lot of bonus content and a lot of behind-the-scenes material and songwriter commentary and unreleased music and unreleased versions of the songs. You want to give them a lot of value because these are not just people you're trying to swindle out of their money. These are people that you owe everything to. Everything that you do comes back around to your fans. Any success is dependent on your fans, and you need to give them as much as possible for it to be worth what they are giving to you. That's what a lot of people, I think, don't understand. You should not be looking at your fans as wallets. You should be looking at them as people who see you as people, and you want a good person-to-person relationship with them. So what we do is we say, you know, not only do I want to give you free music, I want to take you behind the scenes so you can experience this music in a way that I wish more bands would allow their fans to experience. I really, you know, this is still us talking, but this is also what I genuinely think. I really want this to catch on. I think that if more bands are transparent with their creative process, it deepens the enjoyment of the music they create for their fans. And so when you send them through this email sequence, it allows you to provide them with that value in a calculated and repeatable way. So you tell them heartfelt stories about why you do what you do and why, you know, people like them taking interest in your music is life-changing, because it is. And all you have to do is be honest. That's it. I think another mistake that a lot of musicians make is that they need to, like, ham it up when they're talking to their fans and, like, put on this whole over-the-top act. No. Just be honest, because if you have truly contemplated the difference that supportive and engaged fans makes for your entire life, you don't have to overact. It's not an act at all. It's a statement of fact. It's truth. It is, these people are literally changing my life, and I want them to know that. And we give them the opportunity to get even more value by offering them a CD after the sequence of free downloads. But this is not just a CD, because again, we want to give them as much value as humanly possible. So, yeah, hopefully, you know, because it does cost money to advertise to these people and to make them aware of our music in the first place, we want to break even and ideally make a profit. What I like to do is sign the CD. All three band members sign the CD before we send it out. And it also allows for even more bonus content. This particular type of CD works as VIP access at select shows. It gives them access to exclusive live hangouts, behind the scenes previews at our upcoming next album, and any future music, stuff that only they get. This is all just on top of the music that they already like. So that's how we grow our actual music sales and our fan culture. Let's talk about YouTube for a second. Using YouTube is tricky. It is. It is hard to rank for something that no one knows exists. In other words, the Mute Prophet video for Limits of Myself ranks on the front page easily of people searching progressive symphonic metal. But how many people actually search progressive symphonic metal? This is where another interesting little side project comes in, and that is covers. Do covers of things in your genre, because people are searching for covers of other bands. So if you can rank for that and bring people in that way and then funnel them to your original music, there you go. As for how to create covers, and again, this is why I said someone in your band really needs to be competent with audio engineering, or you need something like Easy Mix, because if you're doing a cover a week, it gets real expensive if you're paying studio every time you want to make something. Shortcut-wise, go to ultimateguitar.com and download Guitar Pro tabs and export their MIDIs for their drums and their synth elements if you're using something with synths. And then you can feed those MIDIs into Easy Drummer or Superior Drummer or Stephen Slate, whatever the hell drum program you use, and there you go, your drums are done. So your drummer doesn't have to work his ass off every time you guys want to make a new song. In our case, I literally just do the guitars and bass, and then Adrian does the vocals, and we're good. Now, in the case of Ghost Love Score, for anyone who's curious, I actually did arrange all the orchestrations by ear because the only existing tabs were so wrong. That was a pain in the ass, but most of the other stuff that we're going to be doing is already taken care of. So that's really, really convenient. And that is how you grow on YouTube, is doing covers, doing mashups, doing trending songs, teaching if you're into that. How-to content is always going to be the top of any search in YouTube. Just a fact. For the foreseeable future, nothing is ever going to beat out how-to content in terms of what ranks. So, but it is not essential. If none of you guys feel like teaching anyone anything, then literally just stick with covers. And so overall, what are we talking about here? Well, we've got a YouTube following, a potential for Instagram following, potential for a massive Facebook page, and we are creating new fans with a profitable advertising campaign every single day. What else might we want to do? Let's talk about touring. I've talked about this in another video, but you can literally do the exact same thing, the video views custom audience route, but narrow your custom audience to your local city. If you can draw 20, 30 people confidently because they've watched 50% of your music and they are engaged fans, boom, you own your local scene. Do you have any idea how few unknown bands can promise 20 or 30 heads through the door? And that is a low figure if you're using this method. This method only scales up from there. So you can go out, and especially if you have bothered to put together a larger-than-life sound, which I will talk about in another video, and when that is done, there will be a link card popping up right about now on how to have a larger-than-life live sound. So if you are well practiced and you have ridiculous sound quality, and oops, you can bring in more people than any other band anywhere near you has the capacity to do because no one knows about this method yet, guess what? Venues talk to each other. Venues have relationships. If you are on this list that the venues keep of, holy shit guys, keep an eye on this upcoming band, they're amazing, they're doing everything right, your rise will be meteoric. The potential that you will have unlocked is just boundless. So what else do you want to do? Maybe you want to sell some merch? Yeah, okay. I personally like Redbubble for posters, flags, anything but shirts, because Redbubble's profit margins on shirts is garbage. For shirts, I think the best profit margins I've seen come from Threadless, I think. I've also heard good things about Spreadshirt, but the profit margins are bad there too. Maybe there's something I don't know. But in any case, yeah, use drop shipping for your merch. And if you can't afford to print CDs, use drop shipping there as well with Kunaki, Kunaki. So the next skill you should learn in that case, if you're going to be looking at merch and CD covers and things like that, is graphic design. Or you can always pay someone, but like, you know, we are looking at a campaign where we might be making new merch products every single month, see how that does. And to do something like that, I just feel like there's a lot more freedom if someone within the band is able to make the art designs. But in any case, yeah, so that's how I would go about merch, is using drop shipping, especially if you have a global following, because it is horrible to pay something like $20 to ship a shirt from the US to Europe, but it's only like $5, $4 maybe, because with drop shipping what they do is they print the product and ship it out for you, and they have like exclusive shipping, whatever, somehow they can get around it, and it's really cool. So really, you guys, at this point, the sky's the limit. I mean, you know how to build a following on social media. You know how to monetize that following on social media through engaging fans to the point where they actually want to support you for what you bring to them, meaning that you can commit more and more to what you're doing. So what do you do next? You make another album? Okay, just rinse and repeat. You know, send it out to the people on your email list. A lot of them are still going to be very engaged, and many of them will just buy it right then and there. Same with people who like your Facebook page. And then you can decide, do I want to re-sculpt my email funnel for this second album and offer the first album as a order bump, maybe? Or, you know, it's literally, at this point, you have the complete freedom to do whatever it is that you want to do. The roadmap itself, as you can see, is actually really, really simple. The main problem, I think, and the drawback to this simple strategy It works for me because I am incredibly neurotically obsessive. You know, this does take a lot of time. If you have a bunch of committed bandmates who are all as all in on this as you are, no problem. But if you need all your bandmates to carry their own weight in order to do this, you might have some problems if not all of them appreciate how this can work, or if some of them have different ideas about how success works. For instance, if you sign to a record label, it's over. You will fail. And the reason for that is because they own your album's sales, essentially. You can do some shady things and sell it under the table to your email list. That can get you sued by your label. Or you are not profiting at the rate you need to be, and you are losing money on your advertising, which means you won't be able to grow your fan base. So it's important for your band to all be on the same page if you're going to try this strategy, but it definitely works. So yeah, it is monumentally important that your band all be on the same page if you're going to try this strategy, but it definitely works. That's the beautiful thing about it. Anyone can do this, and in any genre, and with any amount of time invested, really, because Facebook ads run themselves. All it takes is the willingness to experiment and the skills to be able to create the good music in the first place. Alright guys, long video, I know. If you hung in here, please comment your follow-up questions, because I know people are going to have some. I would love to clarify. Alright, I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. I have new videos on music marketing coming out every Wednesday, as well as other music lessons of various types coming out every single day. And that includes songwriting, instrumentation, creative mindsets, audio engineering, everything you could possibly need. I aim to make this channel the single destination for anything and everything you will need to achieve success in music.